Welcome to the Go Find Nervous Show, the show where we find out at least 3 experiences that made our guests nervous on their journey to success. I'm your host, Jake Bolig, super stoked for the 2 people I have on the show right now, the 2 people y'all are looking at, Daniel Cassidy from Elevated Prohibition. And if you don't know about Elevated Prohibition, you're going to know about it because they're doing some great things in the drink space. I guess they're going to tell me more about it, but I talked to him on this hike with our friend, and I was like, I got to know more about this stuff. So, Daniel Cassidy, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Hi. Yeah, thank you for having us. It's great to be here. Great to talk about how we found nervous and how we keep finding it every day.
Yeah, it's been a big inspiration for us on this journey, my friend. So thank you.
Man, I feel that, man. I appreciate you. So let's talk about Elevated Prohibition. Let's talk about what it is first, and then I want to kind of a little backstory how you 2 decided to throw down on this drink space that you guys are in.
Awesome. Danny, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. So I guess the best starting place would be, I grew up in a great family, and they really afforded me every opportunity to succeed in life, right? But at a point in my life, I found myself struggling with mental health issues, substance abuse. And so that was a decade plus journey that I went through, and on the tail end of that, trying to find purpose and what that all meant, was the journey that I was on probably the last, 4 or 5 years. And so as I went and re-engaged with society after deciding to stop drink, right, I found myself at these bars, restaurants, sports events, and there was no options for me to be involved, right, to be engaged with the rest of, society in that way.
Right.
And I still love my cocktails. I still love those flavor profiles, and I wanted to be able to hold a drink up and cheers everybody, right? But there was nothing. And, I had a Red Bull in my hand, and I was drinking way too much caffeine and burning out my neurotransmitters, so on. So that was the birthplace of Elevated Prohibition, is wanting to be able to have an alternative, that fit somebody like me, where I could still go out and cheers my friends and be a part of the group. So
yeah, that's interesting. Go ahead, Cassidy.
Yeah, so in a sense, Elevated Prohibition, our goal is to be the alternative to alcohol. It's going to have the same flavor profile, same mouthfeel, same favorite concept as your favorite cocktail. And eventually down the line, we are also going to be doing spirits as well. So a mock tequila, mock whiskey, things of that nature. So that is our goal. We live in an age of alternatives, as Danny always says. People always want their gluten-free bread, right, instead of a regular dairy-free cheese, et cetera, et cetera. So why not have an alcoholic alternative too?
Yeah. I love it. And I like gluten-free stuff myself, so I feel this. But I love what y'all are doing, because you're rewriting the narrative, because there's this narrative that's been conditioned in our minds that you have to go out and you have to have an alcoholic beverage to have a good time. That was beat into us by marketers and people trying to sell stuff, basically, right? Like, you have to have this. And I know probably half the times in my life that I went out and had drinks, I didn't really want to drink. Like, I was just like, I wasn't feeling a drink, but I had one, and then I had 2, and then I had maybe 4 or 5, and then I had a hangover.
Yeah.
So I love what y'all are doing. When did you guys start? So you decided to put this together. When did this whole project start, and how did you 2 come together on this project?
Absolutely, yeah. So that was about March 2020.
Yeah.
As we know, the lockdown was
perfect time.
Swing. It was, man. It was, and we saw a lot of our friends, a lot of our peers, coworkers. Everybody was leaving work, if they were even able to go to work at that time, and going and consuming a lot of beverages, right?
Yeah.
And we watched as all those friends, peers, family members realized the light bulb was going off for people, that lifestyle was not sustainable, right? And then we found ourselves at work just stewing on this idea. We both worked at Trader Joe's at the time, and sitting on this idea, and we're like, man, you know what? We really feel like we could do something with this. We really feel like people are at a place where they could, that idea seems approachable, and seems to make sense. And so, May 2021, we ended up both leaving our jobs at Trader Joe's, after doing about a year's worth of research. So during quarantine, we just spent all of our time researching this thing and reaching out to people that knew something about it because we were new to the space. May 2021, we left Trader Joe's and pulled out my 401k, and we just threw everything at this. And we're like, you know what, let's take our shot at this because we really believe in it.
Yeah. So, I guess you could say that's when we really found nervous. Because while we were still holding down our jobs and working on this on the side, it was like, oh, okay, this is fun. This is nice.
Sounds like you guys have a fun hobby.
Yeah, but now once we really took that leap of faith and really found nervous, it's like, okay, this is it. We don't have another option. We chose to not give ourselves another option because we believe in it so deeply. And having those other options and distractions is just it's not going to serve us in our end goal of creating this and getting this to a giant success point. So
yeah, well, I'll tell you, man, that taking that leap for me has been a pivotal part of my journey. And I'll tell you why is that when I was caught up in my struggles with mental health, with substance abuse, it was such an isolated place, right? And I really feel like I started to lose touch with my own value, right? And really started to lose touch with understanding the value that I could provide others. And it was a sad and scary and lonely place. And once we found this concept, once we decided to put all of our energy into that, it was this kind of birthplace of understanding my value that I can provide others. Right. Wow. And it's been a huge change for me, man, is realizing that, I do have value to provide others. And by seeing that happen and manifest, I've been able to value myself more in that process. And it's the cycle and the snowball effect where I continue to value myself more. And then I continue to provide more value to the people around me. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a whole nother level of existence that I've never experienced. So.
Man, that is a beautiful thing. So and I think a lot of people can relate to that, right? A lot of people have this apprehension. They're on this hamster wheel. They're not sure what they can provide. And then when they find it, and like Cassidy says, go 100% all in, commit. You open up a door to a completely new realm that you didn't even know existed before. And then once you're there, you're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I come open this door earlier? Because this is the place where I'm supposed to be. So I'm curious, Cassidy, you said it was a real go find nervous experience. What are some things that you guys thought about or some apprehensions you had before? What is before quitting the job at Trader Joe's? Because I think a lot of people go through these. I'm curious what y'all's were.
I think obviously the big one is finances and how are we going to pay our bills and what are we going to do? We got pretty scrappy. We got down to a point where we're going to do whatever it takes to do this. And, we weren't really living off of Danny's 401k. We were setting that aside strictly to invest in the company and putting down lawyer fees and et cetera, et cetera. So those things were, the finances was the big one. It's how are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to have gas in our car, et cetera? Yeah. So that was the really big that was the big piece for me. And then,
well, I think too, it was, we started telling people about it right in the beginning because part of it, we were just trying to figure out really what we were doing. We had a general idea of what we wanted, but it was kind of one of those things, the more we talk about it, the more we'll refine this. And so when we first started talking about it, people were like, I don't get it.
I don't see it.
I don't see it. I don't get it. And we were like, is it the way we're talking about it? Or, is it the concept? And so there's some of that insecurity that was definitely there in the beginning. Yeah. So that was definitely an apprehension I had.
Yeah, we were like, what are we actually doing? Are we actually doing this? It was just a kind of I knew I've always wanted to do something in my life. I never, obviously didn't know what, but I was like, I don't want to work for someone the rest of my life. I think we definitely need that. And there are types of personalities and people who are made for that. And I'm just not one of those people. I always wanted to get out and do my own thing. And I just didn't know how or what. But once Danny and I really connected over the fact that this is something we want to do, taking that plunge and just doing whatever it takes to figure it out and really making calls and getting nervous making those calls and asking people questions. This is not something that I really want to do. I don't want to be uncomfortable, but like in order to succeed, I have to.
Right.
I have to. There's no other option.
Well, I feel like at least when it comes to that insecurity, right, of people not getting the concept, I feel like the more that we put ourselves out there, the more that we talked about it, the more we refined our process, the more we studied it, the more we attracted people that were in that realm that understood it and could make it happen, right? And so it was this initial like push of like we were presenting this to people that weren't in our market, you know, or you know, weren't a part of being able to make that happen. But the more we talked about it, the more we found resources.
Yeah.
So
yeah, isn't it interesting? It's like I don't know. There's a quote somewhere. I'll misquote it, so I'm not gonna try about telling your dreams to the wrong people. Like you got to tell your dreams to the right people that can get it. I'm curious. So you guys are obviously like you can see just the two of you, the energy, like the power in you two. So what it makes me think of is when two people come together on an idea, like the world can change. I believe that. Like one person, the idea is important, but when two people agree on it, now you're starting something that's like the sky's the limit. When was there a moment, or do you remember the moment that you two like looked at each other and you're like, "F it, let's go," like that moment, or was it just kind of was it okay?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it was a total moment. I think Cassidy could probably tell it better, but what I'm thinking of is our road trip to California.
Yeah.
All right, tell it.
So we were on our way back from California, and we were going there during COVID. Like we went. Sorry if anybody gets offended with that.
I'm not offended at all. I'm just running around everywhere. That's all
we did take a couple road trips to California during quarantine. And one of our trips coming back, we had gone out there basically to visit a grocery store called Air One that I used to work at. This grocery store is very progressive and has a lot of beverages. And so that's kind of where I formed my love for beverages, was at this grocery store when I worked there.
Celebrity hotspot.
Yeah.
In LA.
So we went there to test out a couple different, you could say competitors. They're not like exactly in our market, but they were similar. And so we went out there to test those, kind of experience that and try them and build on that. It was more for R&D, like research for us. And on our way back, it was a full moon, super moon. We were driving back. The energy was just insane. We just kind of kept, you know, in the car. I think some of our best ideas have come up on these road trips and in the car. For some reason, our conversations and just our ideas just flow really naturally there. And then on
the only time she's stuck with me for hours and can actually listen to me.
You got to listen. You're forced to listen to me now. You cannot leave. Yeah.
I'm sure I could go back and find the exact date and all the details on like the full moon and the super moon, but it was just like this moon right in front of us as we're driving east back to Arizona. We're driving east. This moon is just so powerful, pounding on us. Like it's bright. It's so bright.
It seems like the world's ending at that point, right? And that all hope is lost, right? Because it's quarantine.
COVID. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And so then we got the full moon in the sky, and we're like, non-alcoholic functional spirits, you know, a healthy alternative to drinking. Light bulb.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just
that moment where it was like really solidified for us that this is what we're going to do. This is like what we have to do. And I'm a big believer in energy and like manifestation, visualization, like et cetera, and just like listening to your intuition. And like I felt in that moment like this is what we need to be doing, and this is why one of the other reasons why we met, other than like my soulmate. So
when we actually looked at each other for a moment, I remember we were just about to get to the edge of the city, you know, coming in from California on the 10, and we both looked at each other and we're like, should we really start this business? Like, should we do it? It seemed like such a far reach at that point, but we were like, should we just try it? Like, you only live once, and it seems like the world's ending. So if I wanted to do one thing, it would be this.
Let's do this.
Yeah, right. What better time than right before the end of the world? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
As we see now, it's not that bad.
That's such a cool story. And I love that because you can feel the energy between you two. So you make this decision to go. How did you decide on like what products to do? I really want to ask about the products because I want people listening to know what it is you guys are going to bring to the game, because I'm excited about it. So you kick around some product ideas and you decide to go with what?
Yeah. So the first competitors that we were looking at, at that time, they had come out with some mock spirits, right? But they were a creative version of a spirit. So, it was flavor profiles like chamomile and lavender and all kinds of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that time we were looking at these and we're like, you know what, like what we miss the most is I want a margarita, I want to taste the Jack and Coke. I want my favorite Tom Collins. I want to be able to, try a Paloma. So I want those classic cocktails. I don't want some, fairyland drink that I've never tried before. I want something that has been refined over the years by all these amazing, mixologists and bartenders, and how they've been able to utilize a spirit. And so what it came down to for us is we wanted to replicate the flavor profile and the mouthfeel of all your favorite spirits and cocktails. So we want it to be a one-for-one experience. So when you're drinking our margarita, you really feel like you're drinking a margarita. And we're even talking about down to the detail, the nitty-gritty of replicating the burning sensation using like capsaicin and things like that. So it's going to have that little burn, that little wake up. It's going to have some herbal enhancement to it. So it's going to help to deliver you to a place of feeling more connected. At the end of the day.
And you guys you have the formula. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Do you have the formula down? Like you have, like you feel good about it?
So we're refining it on a daily basis right now. So we're working with a bunch of refined palettes. We're working with a formulation team based out of California. And so when it came down to it, Cassidy and I knew that we didn't have, the palette or, the professional resources to be able to create it on our own. So we went and hired the best. Yeah.
And I think one point that's like really different between us and other people out there on the market is our cocktails and our spirits are going to be functional, not only with our hemp line, like our hemp CBD line, but also different nootropics and adaptogens as well. So things like rhodiola and ashwagandha and lion's mane and all these different cognitive and enhancements, these herbal enhancements that we're also putting into that as well. And we are also doing a THC line for the dispensaries solely, obviously because of the federal laws and things. So that's where the psychoactive product will be available as in dispensaries. So
that's one of the things that excited me about it was the cognitive enhancement, because you could still go have the drink and you could have a heightened conversation, maybe more awareness, maybe an elevated conversation, right? But without the downer effect. I don't know what the technical term is, but eventually you drink too many cocktails, it's going to start going downhill.
Yeah.
This whole time you're having this great time. Yeah.
Alcohol is a depressant. So over time, as much as you drink, like no matter how happy you think you're going to be, like it does kind of cause a depressant effect.
Yeah.
Over time.
And it's a toxin for your body just based on science, right? If we just look at the way alcohol interacts with your body, it's not good for your brain, not good for your heart, not good for your body, not good for your liver, and at the end of the day, in our belief, it dims your light. When you start consuming a lot of alcohol, it's dimming your natural light that you give off as a person, right? And so what we decided with our formulations, let's do something that heightens those vibrations, heightens that light, and allows you to connect and really elevate a moment, and make it a true elevation of a moment, right? Because alcohol is in the driver's seat when you're drinking alcohol, but when you're consuming our product, you're in the driver's seat, man. Your possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So
I love that analogy. You're in the driver's seat with this product. I know there's many times in my past where I wasn't driving. I thought I was having a good time, but I wasn't driving, and then I didn't know how I got there. Wherever I ended up.
I was just gonna say, you ever wonder how you got there? Well, that was not you driving. That's why
and Cassidy actually heard something really cool the other day about the spirits.
Oh yeah, so back in the 1800s, they used to call spirits like alcohol spirits for a reason, because that lowers your consciousness and allows evil spirits to overtake someone. So if you ever noticed like people changing their personalities when they're drinking, that's their consciousness getting taken over by like an evil spirit.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's why they called them spirits initially.
They called them spirits because you were susceptible to negative energies kind of coming in and taking over. So that being said, that's pretty interesting. And I've definitely witnessed, like, even myself, when I did drink and consume alcohol, kind of acting not like myself.
Yeah, I was definitely consumed by a spirit when I drank too much tequila. So
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know anybody that drinks multiple days in a row, like multiple days in a row, and is okay. It's like truly, genuinely okay. Like deep inside, like there's something's going on. Like there's some pain or something going on. Maybe they don't realize it or something like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I mean, for me, it's like that. But so we're running out of time here. We could talk all day. Where can people learn more about what you guys got going on? Where can they go? I know you guys are about to start promoting. You're about to start getting products. It's about to start blowing up for you guys. I'm excited. Where can people follow you or connect with your story?
Yeah, I think the best place to connect with us right now would be on Instagram. It's at Drink Elevated Pro. And that would be the best place. We're going to have a website coming soon. And we're going to have a lot of other materials. We're going to meet people on multiple platforms. But right now, the best place to get any announcements, any information is at Drink Elevated Pro on Instagram. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of people in my life, and I can normally tell, like, when somebody has the it factor or somebody doesn't have the it factor. I say you two together, the energy is so powerful. I think the only thing that can stop you guys is yourself. I think the sky's the limit for you. And obviously, I'm going to be a big fan along the journey. So anything I can do to help, I appreciate it. And thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my friend. You've been a huge inspiration. And we hope we can come back and have some more conversations with you, man.
We'll do it again.
All right. Everybody go find nervous today. Do one thing every day that scares you.